Everybody get up. It's time to Space Jam. It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, Week 2, the sequel, the T2 Judgment Day of football shows. I'm Greg Tepper. That's Ashley Pickle of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. What's your favorite movie sequel?
That's a good question. You know Space Jam's basketball, though, right?
Yeah, but everybody can get up because it is time to Space Jam.
I guess that's fair. We can Space Jam football style.
I don't have a lot of takes on movie sequels, but I will tell you this.
Shrek 2 is pretty good.
I've seen Cars 2 40 times, and
Very
Cars
good.
2 stinks. I said it, Hank and Max.
Oh, okay, well.
It's Greg Tepper and Ashley Pickle here with you at the Dave Campbell's Texas Football and their mothership, Texas Football Tonight, with you with scores, highlights, analysis from across the state of Texas for the next 90 minutes or more. We can go as long as we want. You can't tell us what to do. You're not my mom, unless you are. Hi, Mom. What has been your overall takeaway from what has been an eventful Friday evening at Texas High School?
One, the war on weather is not stopping anytime soon. We're 2 weeks into the season and 2 weeks of war on weather, so we're back to that. But no, we have some incredible games to cover tonight, and specifically want to start you off and just kind of set the scene. What is the big picture items that we're looking at heading into week 2 with our Friday night focus? So let's focus in on 3 of the top storylines here for week 2. First and foremost, Greg Tepper, cross-regional clashes. Talk about the best thing about non-district. It's the fact that you don't have to play people that are close by you. You can go wherever you want, and we have a ton of those games.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's great is we've got a number of games from great teams from different regions. You know, teams from Dallas taking on teams from Houston, teams from Central Texas taking on teams from East Texas, right? That's one of the things that I think makes the non-district special is that you get these teams from different parts of the state that aren't afraid to bow up with each other. Now, there's thoughtful scheduling that goes into it. You want to make sure you're not playing a team you might see in the playoffs, but I do think that you've got these outstanding cross-regional matchups that make this time of year really fun and allows us to start measuring not just these teams against one another, but also the regions and the regional strength.
Well, and there's nothing that gets people more pumped up than having the argument about what region is better, and so that's what I love about it, is people being able to argue and go, you know, you've got some rivalry going on there from a regionality perspective. Going on to our second portion of Friday Night Focus, and that is state champs get a gut check. So obviously there's multiple ways that this can go down. You can lose a lot from graduation, just point blank. You have an incredible senior class, you go to the state championships, you win it, it's great, and then the cupboard is barren. Or there's the other side of it, of you're a really young team that made it to state, you're coming back with the confidence, everything going for you. Sometimes a gut check's needed in week 1 and week 2.
And let's even get more specific about this. Teams that I think are state champs that are getting a gut check this week. Salina taking on La Vega. We'll talk about that. # war on weather. Munster taking on Holiday, right? 2A Division 2. North Crowley taking on DeSoto. These are teams that have played deep. Smithson Valley taking on San Antonio Brennan. You've got these teams that played at the highest level, won at the highest level. Now they're testing themselves in non-district. I think this is a real measuring stick for how these teams are going to end up playing down the road and what their repeat chances are.
And as we take a look at our third and final point here on our Friday night focus, how real was week 1? We talk all the time in week 2 that overreaction is not necessary after week 1. In week 2, what kind of data points do you start looking at before you really start burying people, to be honest with you?
Yeah, one game's a fluke, 2 games the trend, right? And so I think everybody can get one mulligan. If you have a bad week 1, it's week 1 for everybody, week 1 for us, week 1 for the officials, week 1 for the coaches, week 1 for the fans and the broadcasters, right? Week 2, got to tighten up. You see the most, I think you see the most amount of improvement from week 1 to week 2. And so I want to see what kind of improvement these teams have. So now, if you are a fan of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Today, which airs every Monday and Thursday here on this very network, you can see my top 10 games of the week, which I roll out every week on Texas Football Today. Let's take a look at how those games shook out over the course of Friday night. These are the biggest and best games across the state of Texas in week 1 or week 2 rather, of the Texas High School Bowl season. As we go to the big board and check out the top 10 games of the week, you see number 1, South Oak Cliff and Duncanville. Duncanville's a 35-28 winner over South Oak Cliff tonight. Salina taking on Waco La Vega. That game never got off the ground because of # war on weather. That game is going to be played tomorrow, Saturday, in Mansfield. We'll be keeping an eye on that one. Holiday beats Munster in a really interesting North Texas clash, 48-44. North Crowley beats DeSoto, 22-21. That one gets an asterisk. That game was ended at the middle of the third quarter due to weather. We'll talk more about that. Jayton and Pasadena First Baptist is a 6-man battle of number ones. That game going down tomorrow. Interested in that one. Newton evens their record up at 1-1 with a win over Jefferson down there in the Golden Triangle. Atascocita, how about that? From over the Katy Tigers, 52-33, dropping Katy to an unbelievable 0-2 on the year. San Antonio Brennan last night took down Smithson Valley 30-21. You see that is not a typo. It is 7-0 Highland Park over Lovejoy.
War on weather.
In the first quarter. They had like a 2.5-hour weather delay, and that game is now just getting underway. Highland Park with an early lead. And then finally, Bay City all over Edna tonight, 42-14. Let's talk these through, Pickle. What stands out to you of our top 10 games of the week?
I think first and foremost, and you never really want to start at number one, but let's be honest, South Oak Cliff and Duncanville. We went into this week, one, knowing that South Oak Cliff punched up last week against North Shore and beat them. Okay, clearly a very good team under Jason Todd and his crew there. The other side of that, Duncanville, they hadn't played yet. They had a bye on week one after not being able to schedule someone, and we got our questions answered tonight. What was Reginald Sample's ball club going to look like? And it looks like a team that came out in week two, their first week of playing, and absolutely had their way with the South Oak Cliff team. Again, punching up. This is a massive classification difference, but they did it to North Shore. So does that say more about SOC, Duncanville, or North Shore? This is where the overreaction tries not to happen too much, but Duncanville coming out and doing what they did to SOC really, really rings well.
I think you're spot on. I think both teams feel really good coming out of that one. Duncanville obviously 1-0, and you don't apologize for that. But for South Oak Cliff, that's a really impressive 1-2 combination of results. I want to look back, if you go back to the big board, Holiday a winner tonight over Munster, 48-44. That's a nice win for Holiday, but I think you and I both looked at that and said, wow, for Munster, very impressive. That's a 2A Division II punching all the way up to a 3A Division II on the road and taking them to the brink. I think Munster has got the juice this year. I'm very impressed by that. You want to talk about Katy and Atascocita?
Let's talk about that. Atascocita, my goodness. It is the Carde Max show. We are going to have highlights of that full game coming up later on in the show, so I don't want to give too much away from it, but let me tell you, Atascocita in the early aughts of the season is operating on all cylinders. Starting to get slightly concerned about Katy, not the traditional powerhouse that we've seen, but those highlights coming on later on in the show, you are not going to want to miss that one.
Well, and I'll just tell you that now, this is a note from our friend Michael Silvers down there at who calls the games for Katy on Texan Live, Dave Campbell's Texan Live. This is now the first time since 1995 that Katy has lost to the same team 3 years in a row.
I wasn't even born yet.
Okay. Rude. Very rude. We'll talk more about it, but San Antonio Brennan, a winner over Smithson Valley. Really impressive. I think the speed from San Antonio Brennan will really highlighted there. That's a huge, huge matchup there in the San Antonio area. Higher scoring than I think we thought it was going to be, because those are two teams that pride themselves on defense. I know 30-21 is not some crazy shootout, but that game certainly is on our mind. The North Crowley DeSoto game, I think, really does get like an incomplete, just because it was in the third quarter, right? And so I don't know how to feel about it. DeSoto is very technically 0-2. I believe DeSoto won. North Crowley took the lead right before the game got suspended, and so kind of an incomplete result there. Of course, you can find all the scores at texasfootball.com/scores.
I was going to say one more thing about that Bay City Edna game. Obviously, another massive classification jump there, but the Black Cats looking incredible, and to hold an Edna offense to just 13 points says really good things about the Black Cats moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. As those are our top 10 games of the week. You can find all the scores at texasfootball.com. We do have to talk about some news that came down and was broken on texasfootball.com this afternoon, and the Texas high school football community lost a legend today with former Salina and Pilot Point head coach G.A. Moore, once the winningest coach in Texas high school football history, passing away at the age of 86. G.A. Moore, when he retired, had won a grand total of 429 wins, a 426-97-9 record, an 8-time state champion there at Salina, a guy who built Salina into a powerhouse. Coached at Pilot Point, his alma mater, as well, a legendary coach, and a guy who broke Gordon Wood's record as the winningest coach in Texas high school football history. We toss around the word icon of Texas high school football, probably too loosely, but G.A. Moore, Ashley Pickle, McCorkle was certainly an icon of Texas high school football.
Well, and I think the way that when you start talking about the greats like that, something that you can look at is their coaching tree. It obviously starts with them and it branches out so much. G.A. Moore has one of the most impressive coaching trees in all of Texas high school football, and you could tell the amount of coaches that were texting of, hey, we'll let y'all know about the memorial service. The word is out. We want to be there in support for that family and for the incredible man that gave us so much and has made us the coaches and the men that we are today. So our hearts mourn for the family of G.A. Moore, but we thank him for all he did for Texas high school football.
And of course, Bill Elliott is the coach at Salina, a G.A. Moore guy. I know his heart is heavy up there in Salina. G.A. Moore, one of the greatest coaches in Texas high school football history, died today at the age of 86. We'll be right back on Texas Football Today.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
Yo, these Katie's are fire. Bro, you work here?
Whatever, kid. Take notes. Yo, I can guard pro in these.
I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
Not anymore.
You fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal!
Billy needs cleats. You're right, Billy. These do bring out my eyes.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
Dick's is the GOAT.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott and White Health. And we welcome you back into the after party of Texas high school football. Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We're here every stinking Friday from 10:30 until the party wants to stop. And what a better way to kick off the party than with a ton of highlights. Lock in, buckle up. Here we go, baby. It is the best way to start it off is with our Baylor Scott and White Health. First highlight of the night, we start off in DFW. It's the Fighting Farmers taking on Byron Nelson. This is Trey Williams with a 15-yard touchdown pass there to get things started for Louisville. Second quarter now, Byron Nelson, Parker Almanza, the quarterback, hitting Nolan Hawkins in stride with a 58-yard dime to bring the Bobcats back. Next possession, Bobcats, it's Almanza again, this time faking it. And can he get there? Wait, nope, there he goes, showing off the arm again. Third quarter now, Louisville showing up with the halftime adjustments. Then third quarter, next drive, Almanza with the dribbling skills, scrambling, trying to find a man. Can he get it? Nope, the ball is out, and it's the defensive lineman, Jason Cooper, who knocks that one out. Then Louisville again making that short touchdown pass, this time trying to keep it going, and it is Trajan Mueller. He will make a man miss and take this one to the house from 53 yards out. Byron Nelson not giving up a fight with a quick little touchdown pass here from Almanza to Reed Williams. Then fourth quarter, refusing to go down, Trey Williams hits Trajan Mueller with the pitch there, and it's Landon Brazil who will take it to the house for the Fighting Farmers score. Louisville goes on to win big 38-21. Staying in the DFW, we go to Denton Ryan and Mansfield Timberview. Timberview going to strike first here with quarterback Miles Davis. Takes the handoff, and it's Kobe Gooden to put the Wolves up 6-3. Then Denton Ryan will go ahead and have to punt here. That's Davin Hill, who drops the ball, picks it up. Can he make something out of it? Makes a couple of guys miss, recovers it, gets past midfield, and it is all the way to the house. Davion Hill, 80-yard touchdown to put the Wolves up 12-6. To the third quarter we go. Second half now, and this is Denton Ryan. Senior quarterback Quinn Hennigan hands it off to Brown for the 8-yard score. Ryan now up 13-12. Then Timberview trying to drive down in the third quarter when big number 34 Trayvon Walker says, "Sit down, son." And it's Earl West who picks it up for the big man defensive score. Finally, Timberview, one last shot, goes ahead and gives it to Davis on the Hail Mary attempt. Can he get it? No, it is deflected. Ryan goes on to win 20-12. Down to the Houston area we go. Hightower, Westfield. Westfield gets things going with a quick score there. Then in the first half, it is Hightower's Kalen Davis. He hits Contrail Mosley. Then second quarter, Westfield to punt the ball, and it's snapped over the punter's head. That's going to be ruled a safety as it goes out of the end zone. Westfield would go on to redeem themselves when he makes two men regret their life decisions trying to tackle him. Looking into the end zone now, it's Kylan Davis who would fake and get their third quarter. Westfield answers. It's junior running back DeMonte Ford who blows through the line like a Ford F-150 for 53 yards. That's called being built Ford tough. Davis steps back in the pocket, and it is picked off by Ashton Vassar there for Spring, who will get down to about the 40-yard line. Hightower now to punt, and guess what? It is blocked again. Another safety there for Westfield. Davis looking towards the end zone, and Jaden Barnes will haul that one in. Davis again showing off his cannon here for Hightower, drops a 51-yard bomb to Cameron Hubbard to cut the deficit to just 3 points in the final minutes of the game. Kylan Davis would put on the cape for Hightower and win 29-25. Down to Austin we go. San Marcos taking on Pflugerville. Weiss to get us started here. Jackson Shad to Trayson Armstrong. Ball will come out and is scooped up by Jordan Eben Anderson for the score. Weiss again. Shab lobs it up to Trey Morris. Second quarter, the Rattlers trying to make a comeback, and oh no, miscommunication. Snap goes by without even noticing it. That will be Weiss's ball. Second quarter again, San Marcos trying to do something. Look at this, it's the reverse flea flicker, and he goes to Jamarion Nichols for the touchdown. Pandemonium at the field. Weiss now with the ball. Shad tries to hit his brother Dallas Shad, unable to get that done. Looks like it's an interception. Will it be? Yes, I will take that, says Cambridge Bundage. Rattlers ball on the 30. Unable to move the chains. Rattlers forced to punt. Ball is snapped, and it's blocked. It is blocked. Caden Collins gets airborne, and Rice recovers it at the 10. Fourth quarter now, final quarter for Jackson Shad, and he goes 20 yards to hit Anderson again. Makes the score 22-28. Rattlers not giving up that big offensive line, giving Buck Stein plenty of time to throw it, and he hits his favorite wide receiver, Hank Harris. They will go on to win it 25-15. Mallory Hartley and the whole Dave Campbell's crew was there with reaction.
Like, they were getting turnovers for us. They were locking up their best receivers. It was really good. Offense, I feel like right now we're coming in slow. Like, I feel like O-line especially, I feel like we really gotta step up after that. We're going in humble, especially because, we lost last year. Right now we're not thinking about, we need our get back. Right now we're thinking we need to improve on what we're doing, because we're making a lot of mistakes right now. We're not perfect. No one's perfect, right? But we're just going to improve what we're doing in practice, and our preparation will take us to victory.
So, other than that, Ashley Pickle, you got anything to say after you ripped off like 3.5 minutes worth of highlights?
It was 5 minutes,
but
good? Yeah. I told y'all to lock in. It's not like I didn't warn you. Thursday night rocked yesterday on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
It was great. A lot of great games. I think you saw Pflugerville Weiss. That's a really important win for them. Mm-hmm. To bounce back. That's a San Marcos team we've got really high hopes for. I know the record was ugly last year. You can read on TexasFootball.com all about why it was, but that's a really nice win, I think, for the new coaching staff there at Pflugerville Weiss. I also look at the heroics from Fort Penn Hightower. What a performance from them. It
was an unbelievable comeback. We were watching that game live, and the composure that they had, especially their quarterback, Davis, he really, really, not only did he wear the cape there in that final touchdown, but he was composed the entire time, and it's going to be a really special player for the Hurricanes down there.
Let's go to some other scores from Thursday night and check out some of the action. Go to the big board, the score zone. Odessa Permian took on El Paso Eastlake and came away with a 27-12 win. Prosper winner over Rockwall Heath. That is a very impressive 2-0 for Prosper with wins over Westlake and now Rockwall Heath. We mentioned San Antonio, Brennan, and Smithson Valley last night. Brennan with a really nice 30-21 win. That is a team in the Alamo City I think to keep an eye on. Fort Bend Ridgepoint winners over Fulshire. Ridgepoint, that game was very close and then it wasn't basically. That is a score that I don't think is necessarily indicative of how that game played out.
Yeah, it was closer for a lot longer than what you could see there, but it's one of those things. We kind of wondered coming into the year too how Fulshire was going to shape out under a new head coach. Not necessarily the fact that it's a new head coach, it's the fact that they're changing their scheme entirely, going from a completely run-based offense to now trying to air it out. It's going to take a couple of weeks.
Humble Summer Creek a winner last night over Houston Lamar in a big way. Summer Creek looking very good. And then down on the coast, Corpus Christi Carroll 40-31 winners over Corpus Christi Vets. Good win for Carroll as they are rolling early in the season. We are rolling here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. One small correction earlier because this is live TV. Hi, we're live. Like, if I were to curse, I just could. There's no bleep button. It's also the internet.
There are no FCC regulations on streaming.
Bingo, bango. But apparently that North Crowley and DeSoto game, Coach Nick York, who is helping to call that game, says they are trying to wait it out. So that may not be a final.
Dude, this
22-20. It's raining right now at Dave Campbell's Texas Football headquarters. We can tell you that much.
This is the second week in a row that this has happened in North Crowley. They were in almost like a 2-hour rain delay last week and didn't finish their game until after midnight on the opening night Thursday. So I don't know what it is about Ray Gates, but goodness.
A moment, if you can give me the one shot here. Excuse me.
Oh, goodness. Here
we
go.
Something.
Welcome to the Greg Tepper Show.
Hi. We have the technology to defeat weather. We don't need it anymore. What has the sun ever done for us? Think about that.
Name one thing.
I get burned all the time. We can destroy the sun. We can stop weather from ruining our football fun. More Thursday night highlights from across the state of Texas. One of the games of the night on Dave Campbell's Texan Live last night. Conroe Oak Ridge taking on Houston Stratford. It's written on this here sheet. Let's go to the highlights. Wild one here. Start things off with a bang. This is Oak Ridge's Ethan Pruitt. Blasts off the left side. It's a 33-yard touchdown scamper, and we are off to the races. Then Stratford with a response. Handoff left side. Davis Kendall gets inside a defender in for a score. We're not up at 7 apiece. Still in the first. Stratford through the air. Gavin Guzman fires a dart. Jonathan Joseph, 38-yard touchdown strike. It's 13-7 Stratford. Now Oak Ridge takes a 1-point lead. It's Dayton Urbe on the keeper. 1-yard score. Up Oak Ridge up at the break. Third quarter. Stratford back in it. Guzman in the flat for Cody Hanlon in from 10 yards out. 2-pointer no good. Fourth quarter. 3rd and goal. Guzman zone read keeper in for the score. Stratford has a 25-21 lead. Response from Oak Ridge. Ethan Pruitt in for the score. A response from Stratford. Guzman zone read keeper left side. This time his second score of the game. Now 43 seconds left. Oak Ridge, Dayton Urbe, left side, touchdown! Oak Ridge wins a thriller, 35-32. Out east we go. Beckville taking on Joaquin near the Louisiana border. The Rams, Joaquin on the move before the pitch from Trenton Runnels hits the turf. Fumble, that's a fumble. Still loose before the Bearcats pounce on the ball. First turnover of the night. Beckville, though, unable to capitalize. They'll put on 4th and long. Back to return it is Cooper Bragg. And we only show special teams highlights on this show for one of two reasons. Turnovers or tutties. He will take it back 73 yards to the house. What a way to get the scoring started. Beckville would answer with a long touchdown drive. Here, the home team, though, holding a lead at halftime as Joaquin goes on to win this one 35-16. Then, let's go east. Dangerfield taking on Tatum. We're all shaking hands because we're friends before we start hitting each other. Dangerfield already up 3-0 when Tatum's Quadre People is going to take the handoff on the jet sweep, get in for an 8-yard score. It's 6-3 Tatum. Then Grant Adcock going to take the ball on the dive, get off the left side, make a man miss, get in. They get the 2-pointer. It's 14-3. Tatum on top. Dangerfield looking to get back. It throws out to the flat. Finds Jakiron Craver on the hook. Gets in for the score. It's 14-10. Tatum still lead. But the Eagles aren't done. Ty Moore is going to take this toss. Take it in for the score. It's 21-10 after that 14-yard touchdown. Then, finally, Tatum flexing their muscles. The run game. Kyson George punishing his way in. Tatum wins this one 27-10. Looking very good out there are the Eagles wearing green. Thanks to our friends at KLTV for sending in those highlights. And let me ask you something, Ashley Pickle. You take a look at those games, and I want to talk a little bit about that Conroe Oak Ridge game. Conroe Oak Ridge, what a whale of a ball game on Dave Campbell's Texan Live, and a back and forth affair. I think when you're scheduling games in non-district, you don't win. Everyone wants to win. I want to be very clear. Everyone wants to win. However, I do think that there is something to be said for just getting tested and getting put in high-stress situations. And so I think for a team like Oak Ridge and for Stratford, even though Stratford came up short, they're going to be better for it down the road. Yeah,
I'm going to be completely honest, and we're going to take you behind the curtains here. We weren't planning on showing highlights of that game, and B&A Moreno, our lovely producer, we were sitting there last night, and we're watching this one, and I'm like, I'd sit in the Slack, I was like, y'all are sleeping on this game. And I think that you were so right. The whole point of non-district is to get you prepared for district. And the whole point of district is to get you prepared for the playoffs. Coaches, a lot of them look at a season as actually 3 seasons. And so to immediately come out and especially get some of those younger guys on a team used to a chaotic Friday night environment, a really, really close game. If you learn how to win close games in the first 3 weeks of the season, your chances of winning close games later on, they grow exponentially at that point.
I think so. 2 surprise 0-2s out in East Texas, I will say, that we saw in those highlights as well. Beckville 0-2 and Dangerfield 0-2. Although give a lot of credit to Joaquin, who bounced back in a big way. That's a team to keep an eye on. And then Tatum, good win for them as well. We are just getting the party started here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. We got scores and highlights streaming into the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership. Coming up after the break, Big Country, East Texas, and we may talk to a coach who won a big game tonight up in the Panhandle. If you stick with us here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Fueling the Future Award, presented by Dutch Bros, honors exceptional teachers across Texas who go above and beyond to energize and inspire their students every day. These educators exemplify passion, dedication, and a commitment to shaping the leaders of tomorrow. Each month, one deserving teacher is recognized with a commemorative award and a $500 donation courtesy of Dutch Bros to support their academic department and further their impactful work in the classroom. To nominate your teacher, visit texasfootball.com/fuelingthefuture.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough.
Uh-oh, you good?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, well, if your back hurts, you should be able to get the care you need. So you can get in, get out, and get back out there, like fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
It's not complicated. Scheduling's easy on the MyBSW Health app.
Back here on the after party, Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Greg Tepper and Ashley Pickle here partying with you till the wee hours of the morning. It's past our bedtime.
Is it though? We work in football.
Well, it's past my bedtime.
Well, you're old.
I am very old. The big games all across the state going final, as we talked about. There's one game we haven't mentioned that was going on up in the Panhandle tonight. It was a massive game between two teams that are used to playing each other and used to kind of knocking lumps out of each other. The Canadian Wildcats moved to 2-0 on the year with a 24-14 win over the Falcons of Bushland, and we are pleased to be joined by the head coach of those 2-0 Canadian Wildcats, Coach Andy Cavalier, joins us now. Coach, how does 2-0 Canadian Wildcats sound to you?
Well, it sounds like it's a good start for us here in Canadian. You know, nothing came easy tonight, but we.
Coach, I apologize. You're doing a fantastic. You guys are 2-0 to start the year. I apologize, Coach. Okay. This is a game that I know means a lot for you guys. The Panhandle is a team, a place where you guys have to earn every inch. What did you learn about your team tonight against this really good Bushland team?
Just that, you know, in the heat of the moment, when things got critical and nothing was coming easy, that our kids stood in there and didn't blink and came through right when we needed it. Had plenty of mistakes made during the night, Chris, but we had lots of plays made right when we needed them.
So, Coach, obviously, you played Bushland last year, and for a lot of people, especially if you take a loss the year beforehand, there's got to be some level of motivation that you use there going, hey, remember what happened against these guys last year? How much did that play factor into your game plan there?
Yeah, this is one of those games for us that out of the teams that we've played consistently over the last 10 years, this has definitely been the most equally balanced. We've both won several, we both lost several, and they've kind of had our number here recently. Definitely did last year, and so we're certainly talking about that. But more than anything, just wanted to play versus what we think is our best and measure ourselves by that. So certainly feels good tonight. Couldn't be more proud of our team.
Coach, I want to ask you a little bit about this program that you've taken over there at Canadian. It's hard to follow in the steps of a guy like Chris Ketting, who did so much winning up there. You've been in the big chair now for long enough. What do you maybe know now about this job that you didn't know when you took over?
Coach Ketting was a super good friend of mine, and I think I just didn't realize how special of a coach he was. Probably took for granted all the things he did that I didn't even realize he was doing. So more than anything else, I'm just thankful for the time that I got to coach with him here in Canadian. He was at the game tonight, one of the first people to hug me after the game and congratulate me, but this leading any program isn't easy, and following somebody like Coach Ketting is a real challenge and something I'm honored to get to do.
And finally, Coach, you have to be absolutely pumped up about how your defense is looking right now. 2 games, 2 incredible defensive performances. What's in the water there for those defenders?
I think it starts up front for us. We talk a lot about trying to win the line of scrimmage, to win a game, and those guys up front have been great for us. A big thing, though, I think that plays into winning a game like this is kind of what happens all week long. We had several young men on our team who, because of the way the game went, didn't even get to go into the game tonight, and they did a great job for us all week long in practice, showing us what the other offense was going to be doing, and without those guys doing that type of work, wins like tonight can't happen.
He's Andy Cavalier. He's a head coach of the 2-0 Canadian Wildcats. Coach, we so appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the win, and looking forward to seeing what your boys do next week.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. There he goes, Andy Cavalier, head coach of the 2-0 Canadian Wildcats. Last year, I think even though they went 10-4, they didn't play in
Canadian standards.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't play in a state semifinal, right? Mm-hmm. And that, to me, is always the standard there. I mean, we've talked at length about in 3A Division 2. Canadian Gunner. Well, last year it was Wall and Gunner, right? I think that they understand that's the standard there. And Andy Cavalier taking over for a guy like Chris Ketting, he understands it's the standard there. And I think that's what makes this so fascinating, is that he's maybe got them back on the bounce back, winning a game they didn't win last year.
You want to start looking forward, which we should not be doing at this point in the year. Wall, who is absolutely just flying through their schedule right now, and Canadian in that regional finals. You want to talk about a team that would potentially, either one of those, whoever makes it in, would have one of the toughest regions or toughest paths through the playoffs, a regional semifinal game of that caliber, and then potentially meeting up with Knox Gage and the Gunner Tigers in the regional finals, and then continuing. I mean, it's a murderer's row.
Yeah, it is. It's really impressive. But so far, all you can do to win the games,
the defense
in front of you.
Awesome.
I'm telling you, to beat Bushland. They follow up a shutout last week, but with a really impressive 24-14 win over Bushland. Awfully impressive. We appreciate Andy Cavalier hopping on with us with the Texas Farm Bureau Insurance Coaches Call, hopping on with us. All right. Let's keep the scores rolling. Let's go to the score zone. Check out big country action going on tonight at the score in the score zone. One of the games we had our eye on, Stanford and Dillon, 2 teams that we think could really go deep. Region 1 versus Region 2 clash as Stanford gets a 33-20 win. Albany over Hawley, 21-7. Ashley Pickle, let me tell you about a team that's back. Okay.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't feel like Albany left, but like Albany is very much back. A really nice win over Hawley.
Oh, yeah. In Albany's defense, that's their calling card right now. And so that was kind of the question with Hawley's offense being a little bit we don't necessarily know exactly what it is right now, is you can't be one-dimensional against Albany, and that shows tonight.
Wall a winner tonight over Brownwood, 35-10. That's a tough start for Gerald Brixey there at Brownwood, but that's a tough 1-2 punch there, taking on Wall in game 2. Midland Greenwood a winner tonight over Sweetwater. That is a Midland Greenwood team that I'm very high on, and to go to Sweetwater and to put a thumping on them, start paying attention, start buying some stock in Bryan Hills Rangers.
Because Sweetwater in week 1, I mean, their offense was humming on all cylinders. I know they played a team that was they were expected to beat at that point, but their offense, we wondered going into this game how Midland Greenwood's defense was going to stop that quick firepower that they have, and clearly they did it with flying colors.
Yeah, absolutely. And then one more score we got to make sure. It's the big game in the big country. It's the Crosstown Showdown at Shotwell Stadium. Abilene gets the win tonight over Abilene. That's a game you got to win. Plain and simple.
It's bragging rights for the entire year.
Oh my gosh, yes. It like you get to own Shotwell Stadium for an entire year. So absolutely fantastic. What do you say we go east, Ashley Pickle?
I'm all down for east.
We'll go west to east.
Let's take a look at the East Texas scores as we take a look here at the score zone. Texas high in an impressive, very high scoring game against Argyle Liberty Christian. Tyler Chapel Hill able to get it done. Coach Reardon's squad taking on the Gilmer Buckeyes. And if you want to talk about Tyler Chapel Hill being a team to really start keeping your eye on, Tepper, that's definitely one right there.
That is really, really impressive. To hang 41 on what I think is an improving Gilmer defense, especially to go on the road to Gilmer, is very, very impressive. Awfully strong from them.
Then ARP having their way with Garrison. Here's one.
Man.
That's shocking.
Considering Garrison, what they just did to Wascom last week, that's impressive from ARP.
From Grand Saline and Palmer, possibly one of the most underrated quarterback matchups between Jet Taylor for Grand Saline and Eric Cisneros, the 4-year starter there for Palmer. Looks like experience won out on that one, and we knew that was going to be a high-scoring affair.
Yeah, that was always going to be pointsy. And
it was which defense could get a stop.
We were promised points, and points were delivered. Absolutely, as Palmer gets the win, and then big rivalry game.
How about that, Longview and Marshall, and what a job for it. Remind me of his name if you have it, but the interim head coach there for Longview, for those who don't know, longtime Longview head coach John King, having a medical procedure done and a interim stepping in.
Yeah, Oscar Wilson, who has been at Longview for 47 years.
So I guess he knows something about Rockinell football.
And let me tell you something. You go out there and you beat Marshall. You get to walk around proudly there in Lobo country, in Gregg County. Oscar Wilson is feeling very good tonight as the Lobos are 2-0. Very, very nice win for them.
And then the last one, there was a big win for Josh Gibson's squad out in Pleasant Grove. What do you take from that one?
Let me tell you something. I think that you need to start paying serious attention to Pleasant Grove. I know that it is easy to look at 4A Division II and say it's Carthage and the field. I am very high on Pleasant Grove because of one big reason, and that is defense. Their defense is playing exceptionally well right now, and I think they've got the juice to really make a run this year. So very, very impressive to them. Okay. Let's go from East Texas, and that's now...
to like East Texas.
Like deep East Texas. To go to the Woods, Piney Woods region. Check out some scores from tonight. Palestine Westwood, the Kavian Bryant show continues to roll with a 42-28 win over San Augustine. We mentioned Joaquin. They get a win tonight over Beckville. Good win for them. Tatum also a winner tonight over Dangerfield, or on Thursday night rather. Price Carlisle, nice win over Overton, shutting down what can be a high-powered Overton attack. Lufkin, big win, big nice bounce back win after losing to Longview in week 1. They beat Nacogdoches 42-14. And then how about this? The Kagan Ash Experience got online tonight.
Oh, goodness.
For Mount Enterprise. 64-27. They hang a big one. If you have not heard of Kagan Ash, who's like, I think he's like a 6-year starter for Mount Enterprise. I'm not trying to start any rumors.
Way to just like completely pour lighter fluid all over this poor kid.
It feels like he's been there for such a long time because he's also like, I think he started since he was a freshman, and he is like such a bell cow running back for them that like he'll roll out of bed and run for 40 carries. he is a star, a name you need to know out there at Mount Enterprise. They get a win tonight, 64-27 over Alba Golden, as the scores rolling into the Dave Campbell's headquarters.
So we started in the Panhandle. We went all the way to deep East Texas. Let's go back to the Panhandle. Obviously, just talked to the head coach there at Canadian, but let's take a look at some of the other scores to come across that very little tip-top of Texas up there. We start off with the Panhandle scores here, and wow, what a one to start off with. Panhandle itself with a massive, massive 61-19 win over Stratford, a Stratford team that Tepper is now 0-2 on the season.
Let me tell you something though. Okay, I think that's a good Panhandle team. I think there's going to be a reason for people to freak out because of it, but that is a 2A Division 1 over 2A Division 2. So keep an eye on that one. But also, Panhandle has got some dudes. Most notably, Broxton Robinson, their quarterback, is a name to know. He is absolutely outrageous. Spectacular win for them as they really hang it on Stratford. Amarillo Tascosa, really nice win. I think they won 10-0 last week, and now they win 53-3.
So they practiced offense, is what you're saying.
They contain multitudes, Ashley Pickle.
Canyon Randall having their way with Monahans. Lubbock Estacado pulling out a close one against the Whitefaces of Hereford, 35-33. Friona showing the Spearman Lynx what they've got. And then, of course, we already talked about Canadian with a big win over Bushland. Some Panhandle scores there for you.
Yeah, I think you take a look at Canyon Randall. I will just say this. There are 3 teams in Canyon. There are more teams in kind of Greater Canyon, if you want to call that. There's 3 teams in Canyon. Canyon High, Canyon Randall, and Canyon West Plains. I think this might be the best year of Canyon football ever. The talent and the playmakers and the ability they've got in Canyon America right now is spectacular. And I'm very excited to see, as we get into district play, I know we have high hopes for Canyon West Plains, number 2 in the state.
Oh, my God, they're incredible.
The team we really, really like. I want to see what happens whenever we get like Canyon versus Canyon Randall. That'll be a fantastic ball game. This is the best
stadium. It's already won a beautiful stadium. That thing is going to be sold out.
Canyon versus Canyon Randall is going to be must-see TV, and I just think that this is a really, really nice year in Canyon America. So, boy, we have spanned the state there. That's a lot of.
That's
scores.
what we do here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We don't call it the after party for nothing, people. We hope you're ready to party. We're going to keep partying after this. Way more highlights, more coaches interviews, all of that goodness. More Greg Tepper. I'm sorry about that. There's nothing I can do. We'll be right back after the break here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
Sitting right here.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Texas Army National Guard are honored to present the Coach of the Week Award, celebrating one head coach in 7 different classifications. That's 6A all the way down to 6-man, and of course, private school every single week. Think your head coach deserves some recognition? Nominate them under our weekly Twitter and Facebook post. Those will come out Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday 8:30 p.m., and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. That's facebook.com/Dave Campbell's or at DCTF on Twitter. Thank you to Texas Army National Guard for helping spotlight the hard work and dedication of high school head coaches across Texas.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with Sport Tyler to award the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week, which recognizes the top offensive player in Division I college football, who also exhibits the enduring characteristics that define Earl Campbell: integrity, performance, teamwork, sportsmanship, drive, community, and tenacity. It all leads up to the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose Award, announced in January. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Earl Campbell Tyler Rose National Player of the Week. For more information, visit earlcampbellaward.com.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough.
The party continues here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We're spanning across the state with highlights, reactions, scores, and all that your football heart can handle. Ashley Pickle, Greg Tepper, and we're going to keep the party. Yep, there he is.
I'm here too.
Translucent. We're going to keep the party going here. How about we head down to the Golden Triangle, a game that was on Dave Campbell's Texan Live in Little Cypress, Mauriceville, and Silsbee. As we take a look at the highlights here, first quarter, senior running back Jalen Morris scampers for a 54-yard touchdown catch on a wheel route from junior quarterback Jackson Stroot. 7-3 LCM goes up. Second quarter, senior quarterback Jacaleb Johnson unloads on this one. And guess what? It is intercepted by defensive back Dawson Stanley. Second quarter again, senior wide receiver Alvin Payne snags a 14-yard touchdown catch from Jacaleb Johnson. Senior wide receiver, this is going to be Tyzavian Hafford, lines up at running back. He will scamper 39 yards on a big one there. Then we go to third quarter, and that's senior quarterback Jacaleb Johnson on a quarterback sneak to put the Tigers up 17-7. Then again, another quarterback sneak from Johnson on the 1-yard line, 24-7. Fourth quarter now, senior wide receiver Caden Riggs. He's going to make his way into the end zone and snag that one. 24-14, your final score there from the Golden Triangle.
Yeah, really nice win there. Impressive victory there for Silsbee, a team that I know in the past we've talked about in like really like state championship terms. I think they're trying to build back up to that. Mm-hmm. We always know they've got tons of talent. It's just gonna be a matter of putting it all together. But an impressive win there over Little Cypress, Mauriceville, and I believe they're punching up. I'm trying to think of classifications here. Doing this on the fly.
I believe that's correct. I do know, man.
He said very
the game moved slow. A lot of slow, lengthy plays like that. So I know that they were talking about trying to get some restaurant action in after the game, and it was not looking good for those Silsbee broadcasters. But we take a look at more scores across the Golden Triangle as we head south there. The first of which coming up, Newton and Jefferson. I know this was on your top 10 games of the week.
Yeah, I think that's a really important win for Newton. You know, they started the year with a loss to West Orange Stark. They bounced back, welcoming a really good Jefferson ball club, and they win it 22-14 in impressive fashion. I've said it before, they've got the next running back in Kendra Porter Jr. He is a dog. How about Hampshire Finette? That's a really nice win over Hitchcock. Hitchcock graduated pretty heavy, but they are still a team to keep an eye on. That's a really nice win for them. Nederland survives a scare from West Orange Stark, 14-6. West Orange Stark was driving for at least a tie late in that game, but Nederland was able to hold on. How about P&G? Can't talk about Golden Triangle to talk about the Indians of P&G.
No. Jeff Joseph's squad is absolutely firing on all cylinders. They're a game that we kind of expected them to win, but a team that is looking like another contender heading forward there.
One we hear here. So Beaumont Westbrook beats Lumberton 26-10. One note on this, because I brought this up on Tep and Step, our premium high school football podcast.
Your premium.
Do you know what? So Lumberton played Nederland last week. Do you know what the final score was?
I don't.
It was Nederland 6, Lumberton 3 in overtime.
I did know that. I listened to Tep and Step.
It was 3-3 going to overtime. And so now Lumberton, defense is working, but got to get that offense into gear. And then Hardin gets a nice win over Corrigan Camden down there in the Golden Triangle, beautiful greater Beaumont area. Let's go from Beaumont to the DFW Metroplex, one of the big games of the night. South Oak Cliff taking on Duncanville. Could South Oak Cliff pull off one of the most impressive double dips we've ever seen, knocking off North Shore and Duncanville in consecutive weeks? What if we find out together? This game, of course, also on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. Let's go to the highlights here. First quarter, South Oak Cliff is, Duncanville up 9-0. South Oak Cliff is going to receive this punt. It's LaVon Morton. What a playmaker. 70-yard punt return for a touchdown. That is what we call a special teams thunderbolt. And South Oak Cliff pulls within 9-7. Now, Duncanville back on the attack. Braden Arnold going to plunge in for a 5-yard touchdown at 16-7 Duncanville. Second quarter now. This is going to be wide receiver Trenton Yancey's going to get this on the short pass, but it's only 5 yards, right? What if he's like, I'm going to add 55 to it? It's a 60-yard touchdown, making everybody miss. It's 22-7 Duncanville. Then Duncanville back on the attack. This time, it's Emmanuel Ellison who hauls this in for the score. Duncanville takes a 29-7 lead. At that point, it's 29-14 at the break. Then fourth quarter, or rather, South Oak Cliff would not go away. This is Torrin Teague, who's going to plow over defenders and scamper in for a 75-yard rushing touchdown. This game got hairy late. Duncanville holds on to win this one 35-28 in a really exciting ballgame. Obviously, two teams, big brand names. One of the things that I look at this, first of all, for Duncanville, out of the chutes, like I know it's week 2, and we talked about the most improvement from week 1 to week 2. This is a Duncanville team that I think has things to work on, But first impressions, pretty strong for the Panthers.
Oh, absolutely. And not only is it week 1 for them, technically, they're also playing a team that came out of week 1 looking incredibly good. So that's a little bit different. But I think, too, from a Sock perspective, nothing to hang your hat on here. You just beat Galena Park North Shore, and you went out there and you kept it within basically a score of Duncanville. Like, you're going to be just fine.
I think those are 2 really nice results. So I know they're 1-1, and everyone wants to be 2-0. But like, as far as results are concerned, you smother North Shore and then you hang with Duncanville.
No notes for the 5AD2 program.
Pretty darn good. Let's check out some other DFW scores. Go to the score zone, the big board. This is the big television we paid for. As you see, Denton Geyer all over Arlington Martin tonight. They Denton Geyer got their offense in gear. Remember, they played Aledo in week 1, struggled a little bit. Got the offense in gear tonight.
Arlington Martin now 0-2 though, with a loss to Lake Travis last week and then a loss here. 2 big, very good opponents in the 6A realm, but need to start kind of massaging that a little bit.
Waxahachie beats Campbell 17-6.
I'm sorry, can you say that a little bit louder? The Hatch?
That's tough.
The Hatch taking down the Cowboys?
Listen.
No disrespect to Antonio Wiley at all, but plenty of disrespect to Greg Tepper.
It's tough.
Shout out Waxahachie.
It's tough. It's tough out here for us.
That seems like a good one shot of him crying.
Look, we are capital J journalists. Campbell will learn from this, and they will be better. They will be better.
And what is it?
Iron sharpens iron. And I will tell you this. This is in all honesty. We are doing a bit, but this is not. That's a good Waxahachie team.
Ooh, yeah.
And Matt Stepp mentioned this on Tep and Step about how he said, and you don't overact 1 week, but he said because of what happened to DeSoto, he goes, there's a place in the world where DeSoto misses the playoffs.
Well, could you look at 11-6A? It's deep as heck, and if Waxahachie's playing that well.
Yeah, exactly right. Other DFW area scores: Arlington Saginaw winner tonight over Red Oak 41-34. Lake Travis beats Rockwall 28-20. South Lake Carroll all over Hebron 35-7. Allen is up on Cedar Hill. That game, I believe, at least has been like dragging it out. There's been a number of delays there, but Allen, look at the part. I've said this before. I will say it again. Allen is capital B back.
Oh, Lee Wigington has that squad rolling.
They are back. They are about to go through Midland Legacy and then Cedar Hill in consecutive weeks in impressive fashion. It is time to start paying attention to what the Allen Eagles. I know it has been a minute since Kyler Murray left, since they won that title in 2017. This team is back, and they are a 6A Division I contender.
Yeah, and one quick note over Lake Travis beating Rockwall there. They're now 2-0 against DFW squads. We talked about on our Friday night focus right off the bat was these cross-regional showdowns. The 5-1-2 is being represented well right now by Hank Carter and his Lake Travis Cavaliers. All right, there's some DFW action. How about we head back down south? Getting dizzy yet? Let's go to Houston. It was Katy and Atascocita. We hyped this one up, and I'm telling you, it was everything that you wanted it to be. We check in on the highlights now in the first quarter. Atascocita running back Christopher Toney. He's going to run that one in to put Atascocita up 7-0. Then receiver Brian Manuel gonna go ahead and put on the brakes. Can he get him? Juke back in. He turned on the Jets. That's in for another touchdown. How about this? Katy running back Feo George with a quick catch there from Jackson Franklin to make the score 14-10. Into the second quarter we go. Atascocita. Carde Mack gonna let that cannon show, baby. Brian Manuel pulls that one in 21-10. Atascocita led 24-13 at the half. Well, then they added on another one. Carde Mack, again, a handoff there to Christopher Toney for his second score of the night. And then, hey, are y'all used to hearing this name by now? Because if you're not, get ready for it. Carde Mack, an 80-yard touchdown. This guy is incredible. 52-33, Atascocita goes on to win. And Greg Tepper, Carde Mack was just our 6A Built Ford Tough Player of the Week award winner for week 1 after what he did last week. Yeah. If you were eligible to win more than once, he should be it again for week 2. Yeah, he's special.
I gotta tell you, that's the problem, is that like you win in week 1, we don't have any more awards to give you, Carde.
Like, chill.
Save some for the rest of them. Really impressive. And Atascocita now 2-0. Katy Bannock? I mean, it's weird because like they beat
Katy standards,
they beat Dickinson. They lose to Dickinson, who we'll talk about in a moment, and they lose obviously to Atascocita. There's 2 really good Houston area teams. I don't know if I want to panic. I will say that this is twice that the defense has not looked like a Katy defense, and that is a compliment because the Katy defense we hold in such high regard. I would love. I mean, it's been a long time since they were 0-2. They've technically lost 3 straight if you go back to last year. I would love to know last time that happened.
I was like, the panic button is on a scale too.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to ask me right now if they're making it to state, no. I think that you can, if you want to hit that panic button, I will respect you for it. If you want to say that they'll make a deep run in the playoffs, I could also be like, yeah, they might lose to North Shore in the regional final. You never know. But it's like, if you want to say the state thing, the panic button, you're hovering over it.
Here's the thing I'll say about it. The best thing going for Katy or any 6A team that finds itself at 0-2 is I think there's a ton of parity in 6A this year. A ton of parity. I think it's wide open, and I think that as a result, if you are a team like Katy that started off maybe not as strong as you wanted it to be, you've got an opportunity to bounce back.
You do.
Let's go to some other Houston area scores down there in the, what do they call it? What's
the Houston?
The Houston
H-Town. Hold it down.
Dickinson wins it 47-40 over Sheldon
Coach Nelson's birthday.
We had John Snelson, the head coach of Dickinson, on Texas Football Today on Thursday, and he gets the Texas Football Today bump. They're 2-0.
It's like the Madden curse, but reverse.
I think we get some credit for this.
I'm sure he would totally disagree with that. Happy birthday, Coach Nelson.
Yeah, good win for them. Fort Bend Ridgepoint gets a win over Fulshire, 34-10. Really nice win for Fort Bend Ridgepoint. I'm very high on them. I think that they are a team that we can really hang your hat. I think that's a team that's going to be around by the time we get there. How about LaPorte? 34-28 over Kingwood, going into next week against Port Neches Groves. Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, that's going to be a highlight on this show, I can promise.
Really, really good. Summer Creek winner over Houston Lamar. Klein Collins takes down Willis.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
We really, really, really were wondering going into this game. I think last week Willis got the win, and Jermaine Bishop looked great. Everything looked like it was humming along. But this, to me, tells me that Willis defense might struggle a little against a physical team because Klein Collins will come and punch you in the mouth. Last week, they didn't have to worry about that physicality near as much. But this week, that was my question heading into it, and I feel like I got my answer.
Yeah, very, very impressive. And then the Woodlands gets a win tonight over Deer Park, 30-20. It is, we're rolling here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Before we go to break, I want to invite you to go to FordPlayerOfTheWeek.com/nominate to nominate your gridiron hero for excellence on and off the field. They don't let us pick it. It's up to you. Go to FordPlayerOfTheWeek.com/nominate.
Why are you yelling at them? Please nominate.
I'm just passionate about people going to FordPlayerOfTheWeek.com/nominate
I can respect
to tell
that.
us who should be the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week here on this very network. Coming up here in just a minute, Super Syntax, Austin, Brazos Valley, and a very special coach from way out west. If you stick around on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football and Higginbotham have teamed up to find the most driven team in Texas. This fall, 10 finalists will be highlighted throughout the season, with one student athlete from each team receiving the Most Driven Scholar Athlete Award for their leadership in the classroom, along with $1,000 in tuition assistance. In November, all 10 communities will rally to vote on TexasFootball.com, competing for the title of the most driven team in Texas. The school that rallies the most online votes will receive a $10,000 donation to their school, thanks to the support of Higginbotham. To learn more, visit TexasFootball.com/mostdriventeam.
Uh-oh. You good?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Well, if your back hurts, you should be able to get the care you need. So you can get in, get out, and get back out there. Like, fast.
Well, that is kind of my thing.
It's not complicated. Scheduling's easy on the MyBSW Health app.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough.
Dave Campbell's Texas football tonight. We are partying into the wee hours of the evening. My kids are in bed, but you shouldn't be because you're an adult. Unless you're a child watching us. I don't know where this is going.
Then you have sick parents.
We've got scores and highlights. No, you got parents who love you. If you got parents who are letting you stay up late.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, sick as in
like
awesome.
Sick.
Oh, okay.
Not
I
like
didn't catch that.
Achoo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, we've got scores. Y'all want to see them?
Let's go to the Super Centex region. There are big scores down there in kind of greater Waco, generally. Hamilton, the official team of Tep and Step, 34-0 winners over Early tonight. The reigning Region 2 champions in 2A Division 1 get a win. How about Honeygrove? All over Marlin tonight, 40-7. Awfully impressive from them. Bastrop beats China Spring 48-34. That is a 5A over a 4A. Mm-hmm. I'm high on Bastrop. Very high on Bastrop, but I think that coming off of last week when China Spring beat Franklin, again, I think two very encouraging results for China Spring.
Oh, very, very much. And I mean, this is a China Spring program that in the past 5 years has always been at the top of the ranks there in 4A Division 2. And then over the past 2 years, last year was the first time we really saw them kind of take any sort of a dip. If they're starting to edge their way back up there, then that's very exciting from anyone down in that region of the state.
Big game in Killeen as Killeen Ellison takes down Killeen High 19-14. Big rivalry game down there. Lampasas, the Badgers take down Salado 43-12. And finally, Waco Connolly. High-powered, tons of athletes on that Waco Connolly team. They take down Lago Vista 22-6.
I was going to say, even honestly, for Lago Vista to hold them to 22 points, that says at least good things about the Lago Vista defense.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I think that they are rolling. I also want to make sure we shout out that's a Salado team, or rather a Lampasas team that I think has looked very, very good in the early going. I believe they moved to 2-0 on the year. He said confidently they go to 2-0 on the year as they knock off Salado tonight, 43-12. I mentioned Hamilton. 2A Division 1 Region 2 is wide open. Hamilton won it last year. We have some questions as to whether or not they are going to be able to reload or not. But Hamilton, early returns there, very, very strong for the Bulldogs as we are able to keep on rolling here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. But yeah, I think for Hamilton, very impressive early going. And then Honeygrove, high-powered attack. And if they're going to start playing, that's a team that has hung their hat on defense over the course of their kind of rise. If they're able to run through and play some offense like that as well, they're going to be a problem.
They absolutely will be. All right, this one's a pretty easy transition from state to state. Let's go Super Syntax down to the Austin area as we
get on
check
35.
in. Yeah, it'll be
and wait
about
for 2 hours.
Yeah, depending on the time of day. Right now, you could probably get there in about 45 minutes. We head down to the 512, the capital city. Austin Vandergrift getting a really good win there with Drew Sanders Ball Club over the Wolves of Cedar Park. And how about this one? Okay, hang with me here. Belton and Georgetown. That score looks like this was something. Belton was up 27-26. They had about 3 minutes to go, 98 yards. They took it the length of the field, ended up Will Shepard, the Belton quarterback, with the tush push, scored with 9 seconds left to win that game. So congratulations to Belton in an absolute just incredible game down there in Georgetown. Heading back to the score zone we go. The Swole Bees not able to get it done. Lexington taking them down 21-14. This is a very good Lexington squad.
Yeah, but I'll also tell you this, that for Lexington, for Little River Academy, going through a coaching change to hold Lexington at 21 points, I think is awfully impressive. That's a really, I think, from defensively, an awfully impressive result there. Other scores there: Leander Rouse takes down Liberty Hill 49-43. Liberty Hill 0-2.
They're not used to starting off like that. Definitely, and especially, that's another one of those things where we look at it and we go, we expected that game to be high flying. I am starting to have major concerns about this Liberty Hill defense. Not that that's ever really been their calling card, but you can't outscore people forever. So a shocking 0-2 there for the Panthers to start off.
Joe Gillespie and Hewitt Midway are 2-0, 61-31 over Round Rock City Ridge. Remember, Joe Gillespie was defensive coordinator at TCU. And what's he doing hanging 61 on people?
How do you feel about dropping a 60 burger today? He's like, yeah,
absolutely. And then finally, Chad President is 2-0 as the head coach of those Temple Wildcats. 35-28 winners tonight over the Dragons of Round Rock. That's right. Hail to the Chief. Chad President's 2-0 down there with the Temple Wildcats. Keep an eye on them. I mean, they beat a team from Mexico last week.
Yeah, it's not a great data point.
Exactly right. They play a Round Rock team that's a pretty good 6A team, and they go and get a win on the road. Awfully impressive, I think, from Temple and as they continue to roll.
28 years old, first head coaching job. Ain't no one complaining about 2-0. All right, we continue on. Well, I guess you kind of have to go Highway 6 at this point, or you go 10. We go down to the Brazos Valley.
You're going from Longhorn country to Aggie country. How about that?
Yeah, a natural transition as one does. We take a look at the scores here from the Brazos Valley, and we will start off with Bremond taking it down Grapeland 54-43. College Station now falling again. 43-32. You remember in week 1 they fell to Klein Collins, which was they were up for a long time, and then Collins was able to pull it off. So worry about the Cougars?
Little bit there as College Station now owned. I don't know. It's they got to figure things out defensively. I'll just say that. I'll say that they got to figure things out defensively. Crawford gets a win over Centerville tonight, 20-0. That is not a graphic glitch. They have the same logo. It's just in different colors. That's a thing here.
Canadian also has that logo.
And also the Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago Bears.
But who's counting?
I don't know. Navasota winner tonight over Madisonville. The Rattlers get a win over the Mustangs. Weimer all over Somerville tonight, 48-0. And Burton survives Hearn 27-25 in a true Brazos Valley small town showdown there as Burton gets a win over Hearn. So big time action in the Brazos Valley. We're going to be keeping an eye on things like that. Teams like A&M Consolidated, of course. But I'll tell you what, Bremond 54-43 over Grapeland, banger alert. And I am high on Bremond. I think they've got the juice this year, and it's been a minute since we talked about them as far as contending for state championships. I think they're back in that hunt. They are loaded for bear, are the Tigers.
All right, so we're going to completely throw off people's directions here.
No, we've been doing good.
Oh, no. We're going to El Paso, baby. 915.
Yes, we're going to El Paso as tonight in I would say what I declared on Twitter was the first legitimate El Paso heater of the year. It's the El Paso del Valle Conquistadors who get a 40-30 win over El Paso Franklin, and we are pleased to be joined by the head coach of those 2-0 Conquistadors. We're joined by Coach Rudy Contreras. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
We appreciate you taking some time. This was a wild back-and-forth affair between two of the very best teams in El Paso. What was it about your team tonight that allowed you guys to pull out the win?
Just a lot of heart. You know, Powers is a really good back. Franklin does a really good job. Coach Torres does a really good job over there. But our guys played really well tonight. You know, Jake Fetty, of course, had a big night. But defensively, you know, it was kind of a bend, don't break mentality. You're not going to hold that Powers guy to, under 100 yards. He got his. But we had some two-way guys going hard for 4 quarters. Josiah Nunez, Dylan Gonzalez, Abraham Garcia, just to name a few. But just really excited, really proud for all our guys tonight.
Coach, I don't have to tell you this. Franklin, obviously, a massive name. 6A school out there in the 915. Obviously, Jake Fetty, like you mentioned, a statewide brand there at quarterback. To go out there and beat them, this has to do something for your team, not only on the field, but motivationally moving forward. What does this bring to your program?
Well, just a lot of confidence moving forward. You know, we told our guys whether your school has 3,000 kids or 1,600 kids, there's 11 on the field. And our guys did a really good job with that. And like I said, we had a lot of two-way guys going tonight, and just really proud of the effort that they gave us.
Talking with Rudy Contreras on the Texas Farm Bureau Insurance Coaches Hotline. Coach, I want to talk a little bit about the El Paso as a whole. It feels like this is the most talent that we've seen in the El Paso region in quite some time. As the guy who's in the center of it, is there a buzz around El Paso high school football right now?
Absolutely. There's a lot of good football players here in the city, a lot of good coaches here in the city. And I want to say tonight we had about 5 D1 guys going at it tonight in front of a sold-out crowd. It was electric here, so there's a lot of buzz going on here in the 915, a lot of good football being played.
All right, Coach, don't get mad at me when I say this, but let's bring up last year. Okay, you went 10-0, undefeated in the regular season, just to have that dreaded first-round exit. Are you telling your guys there ain't no way that's happening this year? Do you use that as motivation moving forward?
Well, we didn't have a first-round exit. We beat Abilene Cooper.
That's
here
right.
at home.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
And then we faced a tough Lovejoy team. But we're really excited about that. Last year, whether we went undefeated, that's in the past. We're 2-0 right now. We're getting ready to start district play.
I want to ask you about starting district play. You guys are in a big district. You guys have to warm up quickly because these games start to count. What's your message to your guys now that you guys are heading into district play? And tonight's a nice win, but doesn't get you where you guys want to ultimately go.
Well, we had the win. We got the win tonight, but there's a lot of things we got to clean up on both sides of the ball and special teams. But, we're just excited for tonight. We're going to enjoy tonight. It was a big game in front of a sold-out crowd here at Conquest Stadium. But now we get ready for district play. So we got to get ready. We got to come out and play a little cleaner, of course. But, it's just the start of the season. A lot of work ahead of us, but we're looking forward to it.
He's Rudy Contreras. He's the head coach of the 2-0 El Paso Del Valle Conquistadors. Coach, we appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the hot start, and looking forward to seeing your boys in district play.
Thank you for covering us. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. There he goes, Rudy Contreras on the Texas Farm Bureau Insurance coach's call. Look, they got Jake Fetty. We had a whole interview with the head coach at Del Valle, and we didn't ask him about Jake Fetty, which feels like an accomplishment because I'm sure I know he loves talking about him.
Oh yeah,
but at the same time, got to talk about the whole team a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's a huge win, and it was against a really big program. And two, when you have, like you said, kind of an El Paso game that does draw in statewide eyes like that, to go out there and to be the team that comes out on top makes it that much more special.
Also, I want to call my own foul. I was the one who gave her the playoff note. That was me. That's on me. I'm calling my own foul. That's on me. Ball up top. Let's go to some other El Paso scores out there in the Sun City. We're rolling here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. El Paso, Austin, El Paso, El Dorado. This game was still going on last we checked. 47-13. Remember, Mountain Time.
I was just fixing to say, here's the thing that I feel like even a lot of Texans don't know. El Paso is the only city in Texas that is not on God's time zone and Central time zone.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
Although El Paso is God's country, so it evens out.
It's tough. It's a real hard
It
thing
evens
to
out.
El Paso America is a winner tonight over El Paso Hanks. How about Canutillo? 57-32. El Canutillo is supposed to be a defensive stalwart. They hang 57 on El Paso Montwood. El Paso Eastwood takes down El Paso Chapin 35-19. A thriller.
Ooh,
El Paso
man.
Parkland edges out El Paso Riverside 43-42. And of course, we mentioned Del Valle taking down El Paso Franklin. I mentioned that we are about to get into the really fun time there in El Paso. We saw the numbers, by the way. Jake Fetty tonight, 349 yards, 100 yards rushing, and 4 touchdowns passing.
Dude's a machine.
Ernie Powers, the Franklin running back, who I believe was on your...
He was on my game draft.
He was on your game draft on Texas Football Today. 38 carries, 339 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Take that, Carter Yates.
It's
Team Pickle, baby.
A lot of talent in El Paso. This is going to be a really fun a number of district races out there in the Sun City. So we will be keeping an eye on that all year long on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. We are still rolling. You guys think we're going to bed? I'm not even tired. We got more coming up here. If you stick with us, scores and highlights from across the state of Texas. Stay where it is.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series. Built Ford tough.
Dave Campbell's Texan Lives Athlete of the Month, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, shines a spotlight on one outstanding female and one exceptional male athlete each month who exemplify excellence on and off the field. This prestigious recognition celebrates student athletes who demonstrate remarkable athletic performance, unwavering dedication to their teams, and a commitment to their communities. To nominate your student athlete, scan the QR code on screen or visit texasfootball.com/athlete of the month. With support from Dick's Sporting Goods, we are proud to honor these young leaders who inspire their peers and represent the best of Texas high school sports.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott & White Health.
You thought we were going to sleep. We're still partying here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight, and the party makes its way to the beach. Let's go get away. We head down to the Coastal Bend to take a look at Alice and Cal Allen over at Phil Danaher Stadium. This is Connor Coltzelman on the keeper. 19-yard touchdown. Wildcats are up 7-zip. Then the next Cal Allen drive, it's a construction zone, so bring in the bulldozer. Jeremy Timpson runs over defenders, a 36-yard touchdown. He's a freshman, and the Wildcats lead by 14. Second quarter now, Alice answers the call. Direct snap to Rolo Gonzalez on his third, and he dances his way in. Shout out to our friends there at KRIS 6 News for that one. So big time doing out there on the Coastal Bend. And let's go ahead and take a look at the score zone here as we take a look at other scores along the great part of Texas down there by the beach. Greg Tepper, what do we have?
Yeah, Carroll over Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial in a high-powered shootout. Meanwhile, Tidehaven 38, Goliad 7. Folks, let's have a talk about those Tidehaven Tigers. I'm in.
Lucio season, baby.
I'm in, baby. I think they're legit. I think they have the juice. Okay? Keep an eye on Tidehaven, looking very good. Lovelady, a winner tonight over Timpson, 40-19, and kind of a
Mallory Hartley's favorite team.
Piney Woods Golden Triangle or Coastal Bend matchup there. Ganado,
wow,
woo, edges out Bowling, 28-27. The defending 2A Division I state champs still rolling. We mentioned Cal Allen winner over Alice, and in this game down there, it's the battle for the boot in Victoria as Victoria West edges out Victoria East in front of a sold-out Memorial Stadium there as Victoria West wins bragging rights in the Crossroads region 32-29. We are still rolling here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. Impressive from Ganado. Real heart of a champion type stuff. Beating a 3A team there in Bowling there to stay undefeated. As we continue here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight, let's go to the San Antonio area where we got more highlights from across the state of Texas. San Antonio Piper taking on San Antonio Johnson in Alamo City action you will not want to miss, as Piper, a team that we've got really high hopes for, taking on San Antonio Johnson. We'll go to the score zone and check out more as you see San Antonio Johnson a winner tonight over San Antonio Piper, 31-22. Cuero, let's talk about those Cuero Gobblers. 49-41 winners over Lavernia. They get a good win tonight. That's a high-powered Cuero attack. They keep on rolling. Meanwhile, Poth takes down Falls City in, I believe they call that the Polish Bowl. 58 to
yes,
nothing.
It is the Polish Bowl.
They win at 58-0. That's a 3A over 2A. So I don't want to go too crazy. Cibolo Steel stays perfect with a 28-13 win over San Antonio Reagan. Shiner gets a nice win over Rice Consolidated, punching up pretty significantly there as Shiner continues to roll. And then New Braunfels takes down New Braunfels Canyon, and of course that big rivalry game down there in Comal County. We promised you San Antonio Piper versus San Antonio Johnson, and we live up to our promises, he said confidently. Maybe not. San Antonio Johnson taking on San Antonio Piper. We'll go to the highlights here. Everyone's running out. We're all football friends. Everyone's cheering for us. We haven't even played yet. Here comes those Piper Warriors. This is going to be Rayshun Hurt. He's going to make things happen for Johnson. He makes them hurt. This 35-yard touchdown run for the Jaguars puts them up early. Then Piper would have an answer. Then this time, it's going to be Tyler Lacombe finds Cash Lancaster. It is cash money. In for the score. Piper pulls back, but then more from Johnson, and this time Aaron Crawford off the left side scampers in for the touchdown. San Antonio Johnson wins it 31-22.
And down to the RGV we go. It's Sharyland versus Brownsville Hannah. We will start off with play number 1 here. Quarterback Albert Chavez throws the ball to Cesar Viela. He is the Eagles' first touchdown. Then again, it is Albert Chavez. He's going to look to throw. Can he get it? No, it's intercepted by Edgar Valdez. He will take that one back. Then up next, quarterback number 14, big dog Calvin Harris is looking. He's running back. He's going to throw the ball deep, looking for Bruno Savassos for the Rattlers' first touchdown. They get on the board there. Then Calvin Harris back to Bruno for another touchdown. That one just absolutely electric. Sherilyn goes on to beat Brownsville Hannah 28-14, Greg
Those
Tepper.
Rattlers get that win, 28-14, impressive fashion. We are rolling down there to the Rio Grande Valley. More scores down there in one of our very favorite parts of the state, way down south along the border tonight. Weslaco, nice win over McAllen Memorial in what I think was one of the real showcase games in the RGV tonight. 31-24 is your final there. PSJA North all over Big Brother PSJA, 49-3. We talked about cross-regional matchups in the Open. How's this for a cross-regional matchup? Austin Westlake goes to San Benito and gets a win 66-0. Los Fresnos, a winner tonight over McAllen Memorial. Edinburgh, how about that for a little bit of an upset? Edinburgh takes down Edinburgh Valen 19-6 in a rivalry game. And Lyford gets a nice win over La Villa tonight, 44-13. We're just starting to we're at a simmer right now at the Rio Grande Valley. We're going to get, when we get into district play, one of the nice things is that I think a lot of the best games in the Rio Grande Valley are going to be in district play.
Yes, absolutely.
And as a result, we're getting to a simmer, right? We're getting up there wherever we can. So that is that's something that in these non-district games, they're fun. Glad to see these teams get out there, but
let them cook.
The best is yet to come down there in the Rio Grande Valley.
So from the 956 back to the 210 we go. We check out some scores across the San Antonio region. As we take a look here, how about those Gobblers of Cuero taking on Lavernia and pulling out a high-scoring affair, 49-41. We had the aforementioned San Antonio Piper versus Johnson scores, and then, of course, Shiner and Rice consolidated.
Yeah, Cibolo Steel. I want to focus on them. That's a really nice win, 28-13. They're now 2-0 on the year. That's a team that they lost a lot. They graduated really heavy, but I think they're starting to roll. And by the way, that New Braunfels Unicorns win over New Braunfels Canyon really means a lot.
Go Corns.
Yeah, absolutely. We're rolling here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight. We are round and third heading for home here as scores and highlights come in from across the state. Remember, TexasFootball.com/scores has all of the scores and highlights you need for everything you need across the state of Texas. When we come back after the break, we are going to talk about games to watch in Week 3, get you ready, and wrap this bad boy up. So stick around here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott & White Health.
Back here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, Greg Tepper, Ashley Pickle here with you on your Friday night after party. Let me cap my pen. I was taught that at an early age. And this is a segment here at the very end that we like to call eating out of the fridge. See, sometimes come home, you're hungry, you're like, man, I just want to find something in the
This
fridge.
is your Texas high school football midnight snack.
That's what this is.
You're welcome.
We just got highlights that have rolled in late, and we're like, why would we keep them to ourselves? Let's put everything out there. Just throw everything in the microwave, in the air fryer, and get things heated up. Let's start with DeSoto and North Crowley.
To the DFW we go, and we're going to start off with Sarad Baker. He will throw a 35-yard pass to Antron Edmondson, who will finish that off by running in 25 yards, stopped at just the 3-yard line. Don't worry, the fridge is still there, the snacks are still there. That was the preheat.
Yeah.
Now we're going to stick this back in the oven here.
Yeah, let's
all
try
right,
again.
back to DeSoto and North Crowley, because Sarad Baker's pass was so good, we just have to show it to you again. as we bring back Sarad Baker. There he is, man, the midnight snack that just keeps on giving. So, Edmondson, you know what he does. He has an incredible run, but it was so good.
Yeah, I want to see it again. It's our instant replay. Oh,
okay, maybe we're not going to do that.
We're not doing. Maybe we'll go to. You want to try Klein Collins and Willis?
Yeah,
we'll try that. I'll try this one. We'll go to the Houston area. Klein Collins and Willis. See if it's going to work here. As Klein Collins taking on Willis, apparently not working. We might have to bring this thing home.
That's fine. You know what? This is what you have to look forward to next week.
Klein Collins and Willis. I'm looking at our producer, Vianney Moreno. Let's go to Klein Collins and Willis.
This is why it's the after party, man.
Houston area. Let's go to the highlights. Yes, ma'am. I'm ready. Klein Collins and Willis. DeSoto and we're going to DeSoto? North Crowley? Okay, let's try one more time. Third time's a charm.
Lake Travis and Rockwall. It's junior running back Caden Castro. He surged straight up the middle for a 44-yard touchdown. First points on the board. To the second quarter we go. And it is senior running back Van Hopping. You know him, you love him. Up the left sideline, 36 yards. He always is running through talent. To the third quarter we go now, and it's Caden Castro again. We're going to celebrate first, but Caden Castro, he just keeps doing it. He finds a massive hole right up the middle and makes a 70-yard break to take Rockwall up 14-7. But Lake Travis, as they typically do under Hank Carter, will have a response. We stay in the third quarter, and Lake Travis bites back. Van Hopping, this guy is next level. 95 yards to the house. Lake Travis wins 28-20. Again, we mentioned it. 2-0, not only against any teams, but really powerful 6A programs in the DFW. That is something to take home for the 512.
Yeah, I think that's impressive for them. They're still, and you talk with Hank Carter, that is a program that he doesn't envision as a finished product in week one. He wants to build and build and build. And I think that going on the road to a good Rockwall team, coming away with a win is exactly what they are looking for. All right, we'll take a look now. That's a lot of week 2 action. More games on Dave Campbell's Texan Live tomorrow. What about week 3? Let's take a look ahead at week 3 is our Built for Tough games to watch next week, as these are games tonight rather, as Stratford and Panhandle, I think that might be last week's. But Stratford Panhandle got a big win over Stratford. Newton got a win elsewhere across the state. But games that I'm looking forward to next week. One game immediately. LaPorte and Nederland, or LaPorte and Port Neches Groves.
Office
banger down there. They're in the Golden Triangle. Excited for that. Big takeaways from the night as we round third and head for home.
I think we did a good job of not overreacting last week. Yeah. I think that there are some teams that are straight up still just finding a way to get in their grooves, especially the teams that changed schemes, got a new coach. You're kind of seeing that to massage in. But I think that there were a couple of programs like in Atascocita, which, by the way, speaking of Atascocita, as we look now at our Built Ford Tough games to watch next week, heading into week 3, a massive cross-regional matchup against Austin Westlake live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. That is box office stuff.
Yeah, really a really big game, and I think an opportunity for the Austin Westlake defense to go up against one of the hottest offenses in Texas. Fort Payne, Ridge Point, and Bridgeland. We talked a lot about Fort Payne, Ridge Point, and how we think they could be absolute, like a real contender. If they go out there and they pummel Bridgeland, I'm ready. I'm fully ready. We talked about LaPorte and Port Neches Groves, huge game. Edna and Refugio lost a little bit of steam because Edna lost tonight, but Refugio still punching up pretty significantly. Wall and Jim Ned.
I am hyped for that one.
Really big game. And then Austin LBJ and Wimberley. A team that we keep an eye on around here because of our own Kimmy Gooding.
I'll tell you what, you want to know,
keeps us rolling.
You know what, the other cool thing, we've talked a lot about coaching changes that happen. Obviously, the legendary Wimberley head coach Doug Warren has retired, and guess what this man was doing tonight? He was on Dave Campbell's Texan Live calling the Wimberley game with our friend Jared Robinson, who does play-by-play for the Wimberley game. So if you miss Doug Warren, he is just a click on Dave Campbell's Texan Live away.
Absolutely. This has been fun. And what do you say we do this again next week here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Time?
Yeah, I'm down to party every Friday.
Week 2 of the Texas High School football season is in the books, in the pocket, out of sight. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper.
Did you forget your own name?
Our producer. I did, briefly.
It's late.
We will see you next week. Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Bye.